YouTube, what's going on? YCImaging here with another installment to my Q&A series. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. First question comes from Zach Lang, and he asks, "Hey bro, how can I build my clientele? I need more people to film with. Thanks, man." Alright, man. I went over this in a video probably like a month ago, talking about how to build clientele on social media. But social media is your best friend, man. You can use social media, you can use hashtags to target artists, certain artists around you, just artists in general. So for instance, me, myself, I live in Virginia, so if I want to find a rapper or a singer or an artist in Virginia, I could just go on social media like Instagram and type in like Virginia rapper or Virginia artist or Virginia singer. And then, you know what I'm saying? That's just one way that you can do it. You can even target just artists in general by searching like hashtags like SoundCloud. You know, you just gotta think about places where artists are and find them and target them. You can basically reach out to artists saying, "Hey, do you need visuals? Hey, I do visuals, you know. Hey, I like your song," you know what I'm saying? Just reach out to artists and never stop doing it, and your clientele will eventually get bigger. Next question comes from King Versa, and he says, "Hey YC, it's tailor-made visuals. How do I keep people in focus when filming multiple people? Does my aperture need to be higher with an higher ISO? Thanks for your time once again. Huge fan from Memphis, Tennessee." I appreciate it, bro. I need to come out to Memphis myself, but if you want to keep more people in focus, you simply need to just boost your aperture at the end of the day. You could either increase your ISO to properly expose your image, or you can just lower your shutter speed to properly expose your image. But at the end of the day, the thing that directly correlates with depth of field is aperture. So if you want more people in focus, you just need to boost your aperture up. Next question comes from ASO Films, and they ask, "Where do you learn new techniques for the creative cloud?" I think new techniques are gained just by looking at new work, you know what I'm saying? You look at new things, you get inspired by new things. You just gotta look at a lot of stuff, man. You'll get inspired to wanna do something and put your creative spin on something. So me personally, the way I find out new techniques and new things is I just look at other stuff, man. I look at other videos for concepts and kind of evolve those concepts into my own concept. Or like I might see an effect and I might think, oh well, how can I do this? And you know, I just kind of sort of form my own way to do things. So the way I get new techniques is I just look at new things. Next question comes from Swatch City, and he asks, well, he says, "Hey YC, tell us about your lowest point in your career and what you might have learned from it. Keep up the consistency. We got you." I appreciate it, bro. The weird thing about being an artist, an entrepreneur, just a self-employed person in general is there are constant ups and downs. So like when I was coming up, when I was starting to like really dive into this, it was a lot of points that I was broke just because, you know, business goes up and business goes down. But the thing that I really learned from those situations is it's just best to be responsible with your finances. A lot of the times when business would be booming for me, I would feel like, oh man, I'm getting a lot of money, I can spend a lot of money. And that was my problem because, you know, things go up and down, things slow down, things always eventually slow down, man. And that comes with season, that just comes with time, man. So while you're getting a lot of money, just be responsible with it, man, because there are gonna be times when you're not making a lot of money. And that's just what I learned from those situations. Next question comes from Spidey Weber, and he asks, well, he says, "Hey bro, first off, want to say I love your channel and you inspire me on my journey to becoming a self-employed videographer. But I got a question. When you travel out of state to shoot a music video, do you travel alone or do you have a homie or something with you? Like that would be a little scary on someone's first time traveling, LOL." Bro, I always have somebody with me traveling when I'm going out of state. Always, man, always. Even if the artist can't fit the person that you want to bring with you on a budget, you're just never supposed to travel out of state by yourself. Well, that's just me. That's just how I roll. I'm not going out of state to travel with some people that I've never known. Like it's cool. Like most of the time, if I go out of state, I'm with an artist or a group of artists and artist management that I've known. You know what I'm saying? I worked with them multiple times, so it's cool for me to go out there by myself. But if you don't know the person, you gotta always bring somebody. And even if the artist can't fit that person in the budget, you gotta make it work for yourself if you're adamant on going to that place. When I went out to Vegas, I had worked with that artist before, but you know what I'm saying, I just really wasn't that comfortable with going out there by myself. So what I did was I took a little bit of the money out of the budget and I squeezed a plane ticket in there for my brother. And it turned out pretty cool because I was actually able to shoot him a music video out there as well. So it's always good to bring somebody with you, man, if you can. Next question comes from Stonebridge Films, and he asks, any tips on producing and booking locations that need permits? This is an interesting question for me because most of the time, man, if I want to shoot at a place, I'm just gonna go shoot at it, man. And it's gonna be sometimes when you need a permit, and you know, just me with my running gun style, I just like to get in places and get out before anything bad happens. So if you need a permit for a place, man, the best thing to do is to go there presentable and speak to them presentable and let them know that what you're doing there is not dangerous or reckless, or, you know what I'm saying, anything that's gonna do harm to the business or place that you're at. So just go there professional, man. And you can even lie a little bit too, man. You can just go in there and be like, oh yeah, I'm doing a project for school, you know, maybe we can shoot this, blah, blah, blah. So just make sure, man, when you go and you pitch the idea to whoever, the business, the place, the business owner of the place that you're trying to get permission or a permit to shoot at, just be presentable, man. Don't go in there looking all hoodlum-like, or, you know what I'm saying, anything like that. Just be very presentable when you go to these places. Talk very well-mannered, and you know what I'm saying, just let them know that you're not there to do any harm to their place of business or just location in general. That's the only advice I can give to you. Next question comes from It's J Jones, and he asks, I'm trying to choose between a glide cam and a DJI Ronin M for my GH4. Which would you recommend for ease of use and quality of results? Thanks. I guess it really all depends on how much money you have. If you only have enough money to buy a Ronin, would I recommend you buying a Ronin? Probably not, honestly. I would just recommend you going to get a glide cam and, you know what I'm saying, just getting the feel for that. And you'll have some extra money left over to go buy something else as well. The thing about the Ronin is, I love it, but the Ronin isn't perfect. I mean, and neither is the glide cam. The con with the glide cam is you're gonna get a lot of this. Like, the glide cam is very smooth coming in and out, but if the wind or anything hits it, it's gonna get a lot of this. And the Ronin can stay completely straight like this, but the Ronin is gonna glitch out sometimes. If you turn too fast, you're gonna get those glitches in your footage. So in terms of smoothness, I think that the glide cam actually is more smooth than the Ronin. But the Ronin is just, it's just an easier system to use, I guess, in a sense. You don't really have to do too much to balance it, you know what I'm saying? You got the electrical motors really correcting you when you do something wrong. So, to answer your question, what would I recommend? I guess it really all depends on how much money you have. They're both great systems. I love the glide cam just as much as I love the Ronin, but the Ronin is not perfect, so I don't know, man. I guess it really all depends on how much money you have. Next question comes from Walt Production, and he asks, where can I get effects and transitions for my videos, industry style? One place that you can go to for effects and transitions for plugins, I'm assuming that's what you're asking, because a lot of the stuff I do is just in program. But if you want something that's gonna give you some nice plugins, you can visit Video Copilot. They have flares, they have Twitch effects, and I'm sure they have a lot of other stuff. I used to check them out all the time when I was starting, but I eventually just gravitated towards just doing it in program and not using plugins. But I know Video Copilot has some really great plugins that you can use. Next question comes from Creative Design Studio, and they ask, what do you use for video editing? Final Cut, Premiere Pro, or After Effects? Well, I started out using Final Cut Pro 7, and I eventually gravitated over to Premiere Pro because Final Cut didn't have support on 4K footage, and I just hate Final Cut Pro X. The interface of it just looks so cheesy and bubbly and shiny, and it's just, me personally, I can't stand Final Cut Pro X. The interface of it is just a turn off for me. But to answer your question, I use Premiere Pro. Next question comes from Omar Castillo Films, and he asks, which MacBook do you use for all of your edits? Is there any other laptop you would recommend? I enjoy watching your daily vlogs, by the way, man. Keep them coming. I appreciate it, bro. Me personally, I use the 15-inch model of the MacBook, and I use the $2,500 model of that 15-inch MacBook. Next question comes from HX Caldera. And yo, it's crazy, I just went to go check your profile out, and you are 16 years old. That's dope as hell. I wish I was in the videos when I was 16. I was too busy doing other adolescent BS, but that's so cool. Anyways, she asked, have you heard of or seen some information on the Canon 80D? Thoughts on it? Me personally, no, I have not checked into any of the specs on the Canon 80D. I know that's like the primary vlog camera that like a lot of the YouTubers use, and the autofocus on it is amazing. So if I've heard anything about it, is that the autofocus is great. Anything else about it, I haven't heard, but I'm sure it's a good camera. I don't know how much it costs. I'm sure if it's kind of pricey, there are other competitors that would beat it out in a lot of different aspects, just because Canon crop sensors, they just aren't the best video cameras in a sense. So if you're looking into a camera for video and this is a pricey camera, I'm sure that there are competitors from other brands that do video better. So just keep that in mind if you're primarily doing video. But if you're on the photography, and I'm sure the Canon D is amazing. I mean, the 80D is amazing just because Canon just does photography so much better than everybody else. So just keep that in mind, man. Just weigh the pros and cons, and also keep in mind what you're gonna primarily be doing with the camera. And if it works out, if the pros outweigh the cons, cop, man. But if you're just solely doing video, I highly encourage you to check out other brands, man, because I'm sure they do video a lot better than Canon does with the 80D. Next question comes from AMW Films, and he asks, well, he says, I learned and applied a lot from your video showing different effects without plugins. Where do you learn new editing techniques? That's crazy. Someone kind of sort of already touched on this question earlier in the Q&A, but it's really nowhere to go to look for editing techniques. I guess you look at other work and try to form a way to do that by yourself. That's what I do anyways. Like if I see a video and I like an effect in it, I think to myself, man, how can I recreate this effect by myself in the program? And you know what I'm saying, that's just what I do. And if I can't find a way in my mind to recreate that effect in the program, I'll just do research, man. I'm like a Google mastermind. Anything that I'm looking for, I can typically find just by using the right keywords and the right, you know what I'm saying, just the right words, man. The right words will most likely find you what you need on the internet. So that's just what I do, man. I look at new work, and if I see something there that I like, I try to figure out how I can do it myself, and then I'll try to even evolve that into my own effective style. So that's just me personally, that's just what I do. Next question comes from Tevin Longo, and he asks, well, he says, hey man, just wondering if you ever rented a Canon EOS 1DX Mark II and shot with it. I never hear much about it, just curious on it with music videos. So the Canon 1DX Mark II is an interesting camera. I have personally used it a few times. My brother actually owns it, so I've had the pleasure of playing with it for photos as well as video. And the only reason that I haven't put a test out from the 1DX Mark II yet is because that thing is so freaking tall, it can't go on my Ronin M, and that just bothers the hell out of me. Oh, I just shook the table. I probably threw my balance off. But yo, the only reason why I haven't done a test from it is it's too tall to go on my Ronin, so I'm just salty about that. But next time my brother's in town, I'll make sure to take it out and go get some tests and give you all my opinion on that camera as well. But it's a pretty good camera, man. Like the footage from it is super crispy, even in low light. It has 4K 60s, man, so it's a great camera. But I just haven't done a test with it. So to answer your question, I have used it before, not for a music video, but I have tested it out. Interesting, man. I thought I had another question, but I actually do not have another question, so that's gonna conclude my Q&A for the week. If you liked it, make sure to like it, comment, and also subscribe. If you are wondering why you never know when I'm doing a Q&A, you gotta follow me on Instagram, man, because that's where I put out the posts and tell people to ask me questions. I post it in my story, and sometimes I actually post it on my timeline. So if you don't follow me on Instagram at YCImaging. If you don't check the stories, make sure you check mine, because I'm more than likely asking you to ask me questions for the Q&A. So yeah, man, if you liked it, make sure to like it, comment, and also subscribe. And I'm gonna check you out on my next video tomorrow. Peace.